Yes, so mayor's had a chance to make his case in his mayor newsletter, more specifically referencing Councilman Gubitosi for stalling at that point. Now he's had another opportunity to present to everyone, say, people spoke, are we listening? And I have to, unfortunately, I have to read prepared statements because I need them to appear in the minutes. Not because I can't speak on my own, but if we don't transcribe. So if I speak on my own, it doesn't make it into our minutes. So I do have a prepared statement. To all of the people who read the mayor's newsletters, I want to say one thing. Don't believe everything you read, especially if it's written by Mayor Fox.
That's real nice.
I take exception to that.
Okay.
Real nice.
Has anyone read his newsletter?
We have four things where
The mayor's newsletters should share good news with our residents. Oddly, Mayor Fox campaigns against fellow council members using this platform to launch personal attacks against me and other council members. It's unfortunate, but sadly, I've grown accustomed to it. What the newsletter should have said is, council members find better way to subdivide church property, maximizing profit and minimizing risks to taxpayers. Did anyone see any language to that effect in the newsletter? It sounded like we were quite torn as a council. Even that last comment, taxpayers spoke, are we listening? That does not indicate that we are all in agreement that we must move forward to subdivide the property. It's difficult to sit quietly as the mayor's newsletters accuse me of delaying the subdivision of 319 LaReine since December of 2022. Residents, neighbors, and friends ask me if his comments are true. The following is my best effort at providing our residents with a quick response, since I don't have a newsletter. Number one, simply put, the mayor's assertions against me are absurd. Number two, he's ignoring significant engineering costs, demolition costs, and remediation costs that we must incur if we do this work ourselves. Costs we've known about since March. During budget negotiations in May, the mayor admitted he wanted to sell off this property this year so he could use at least some of the profits to reduce the huge tax burden that he was requesting. Ladies and gentlemen, profits to reduce the huge tax burden, profits from the sale of this borough asset must be reinvested in other borough assets, i.e. capital improvements. It's not sustainable to reduce taxes by selling off borough assets. Ultimately, we will simply run out of assets. On June 28th, the mayor suggested to the public that we should give away $1 million lot, the parsonage, which he referenced in his presentation, to Habitat for Humanity, which I challenged. He never brought the subject up again. The first resolution offered by Mayor Fox to hire an engineer based upon a complete understanding of the scope and the management of the artifacts was not until September 27th, which the mayor confirmed again in his presentation. That was 1 month ago. So to accuse me of stalling for since December of 22 is just inappropriate. 9 months after that December meeting is when the mayor references in his newsletter. I requested the council to table the hiring of an engineer at that meeting because I still had unanswered questions. And because the council tabled that motion, we will likely save the borough significant costs and avoid unnecessary risks. In a moment, Ms. DeNoble will present more specific thoughts, but in essence, it should be better to sell this property to a single developer, but only after we first, one, secure approval for the subdivision of the property from the borough's land use board, and two, deed restrict the property before sale to make sure the developer will follow our vision for the property. In this way, we get Bradley Beach out of the demolition management role. This single developer will bear the risk of managing the demolition with the change orders and environmental inspections that go with it. Plus, the developer can manage this process much more cost effectively than we can. they're not gonna have to spend $50,000 for an engineer, as an example. Has anyone seen the recent sewer change orders that exceeded $400,000? Has anyone noted the challenges we faced as a borough in managing the Biazzi Center's roof repairs? Our administration should not manage this process. This also would create a more attractive package for a developer who is likely to be willing to pay a higher price with the subdivision already approved by the land use board. No one is stalling or blocking the subdivision of 319 LaReine. I think we all agree we must move forward with the subdivision of the property. We just believe this is the better way to do it. Let's stop throwing good money after bad. As for the mayor's newsletter attacks on his council colleagues, I ask a favor of our residents. Please don't let the mayor's inappropriate attacks on his council colleagues in future newsletters tarnish the many wonderful things that are happening every day in our community. Let's all enjoy Bradley Beach. Just remember, don't believe everything you read. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I have order, please?
Yes, I have a few comments as well.
Sure.
I like what you said about proceeding and rethinking, but I think I'd like to reverse it, to rethink it and proceed. I think we've all felt the frustration with the huge amount of borough funds that have already been spent on this building. And I can only imagine how much more could be spent. We've seen assessors, surveys, roof repairs, and architects and engineers. In fact, on March 1st, we were presented with the sales comparison or the net survey approach, and the engineering was priced at $10,000. Now we're being asked to spend $50,000 already. That's 5 times the amount that was there. So we can kind of see which way this project is going already.
Just a point of clarification on that, Councilwoman.
Yes.
I think in that estimate that we got was about I think it was $540,000. My assumption was we would include that in that number.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, this is the demolition. was-
522.
Yeah,
Engineering, 10,000.
Yeah, but the question is that demo spec in this engineering?
well, it says the net value, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a good question. It's a question. Yeah.
Okay.
This came from the appraiser, so.
Okay, so maybe it's time we sell these buildings and land as it sits with a preliminary major subdivision approval from the land use board. I'd like to suggest that we have our borough attorney, Mr. Cannon, present to the land use board options, including a conforming 4-lot preliminary major subdivision with deed restrictions. We already paid for the subdivision plat created by CME Engineering that consists of 3 5,500 square foot lots facing LaReine and the larger 7,500 square foot lot facing Madison. The land use board will notice the neighbors within 200 feet, and the public may also attend for notes and input. And as far as the price, we'd work with this tax assessor to set a minimum bid and sell it as one parcel to the highest bidder, subject to the approved subdivision plat. This way, the winning bidder would be responsible for the demolition and obtain final subdivision approval, certainly at a better price outside of the municipal constraints. Just look at the Biazzi Center, the amount we've spent, and it's not even near done. And I'd like to suggest that we sell this to the highest bidder as soon as possible. Thank you.